Caught my wife sending pics to my brother-in-law for money, but she did not expect this. Hello Reddit talkative here. I'd gotten off work early, feeling playful, and decided to sneak up on Jessica. Big mistake. My stealth mission turned into a comedy of errors when I slipped, landed awkwardly, and tweaked my back. Jessica rushed to help, her laughter turning to concern as she fetched me an ice pack. While she was in the kitchen, her phone buzzed on the bed next to me. I glanced at it, just out of curiosity, I swear, but the message on the screen froze me. It was a WhatsApp text from Jake, my brother-in-law, that read, "You've got the best pair I've ever seen." I'm no detective, but this wasn't innocent. My hands were trembling as I unlocked her phone, and there it was, a fresh exchange where she'd sent explicit pictures of herself to Jake, my wife to my brother-in-law. No prior messages, just these vile breadcrumbs. When Jessica walked back into the room, I held up the phone and asked one question: how long? Jessica's face fell, her eyes brimmed with tears as she stammered, "Babe, I can explain." According to her, this mess started in late 2019, before we were even married. Back then, she was strapped for cash, and Jake, yes, my sister's husband, offered to help. But there was a catch. He wanted explicit photos in return. She insisted it was only photos, and never physical. I didn't buy it. 5 years of this? Just photos? That didn't sit right. But she swore it was true and even pulled up her Venmo history to show me Jake's payment from the day before. $300. My stomach churned. I told her, try to remember if anything else happened. Anything. She cried harder and promised she'd prove it to me the next day. The following morning, Jessica called Jake while I listened. Her voice shook as she asked, "Hey, I was wondering if you wanted some more pics." Jake, the slimeball, replied, "I'm short on money. I spent all of it yesterday." Jessica pushed further. "We could do more this time, meet in person. I've changed my mind on that." Jake didn't even hesitate. "How much are we talking about?" My world shattered. I walked out, leaving her sobbing behind me. That night, Jessica tried to explain why she kept this arrangement going after we got married. Her reason? It was easy money. She didn't want to ask me for help because she felt embarrassed. Embarrassed? She wasn't embarrassed to text my brother-in-law for cash. I told her I was done. She could keep the house, the car, whatever. But I wanted 50-50 custody of our daughter. And just like that, I left. For the past week, I've been living in a hotel trying to figure out my next steps. After some time to think, I shared my situation with my cousin, who lives nearby. She hit me with the hard truth. Part of me still wanted to save this marriage, not because I loved Jessica anymore, but because I married her against my parents' wishes. Divorce felt like admitting defeat. But my cousin also reminded me of something important. My daughter deserves better. With her support, I met with a divorce lawyer. He explained that adultery doesn't impact asset division in our state, but Jessica's arrangement with Jake could help me get primary custody. Here's where things get messy. Jessica came clean to her family. My father-in-law called me in tears. He said, if I were in your shoes, I'd leave her too. Jake, predictably, has been kicked out of his house. My sister-in-law's family is in shambles. As for Jessica, she's still begging for marriage counseling, claiming she'll earn back my trust. But how can you fix something when every brick of the foundation feels fake? I've made up my mind. This isn't salvageable. Divorce is the only path forward. I refuse to live in a marriage where love and respect were sold for a quick buck. And while I may not have all the answers yet, one thing's certain: I'll do everything in my power to give my daughter a better future.